Hey fam, welcome to another episode of Keeping Up with the Consorts. I am your host, Reverend Napoleon Lawson. I'm here with one of my co-hosts, Sunny Stewart, and we have a lot to talk about. There was a nice amount of feedback from the first episode we did. Some positive, some I don't want to say negative, but um, there were some critiques,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to discuss those. But before we get into anything, I know you said you had some questions that you wanted to ask, and I want to make it a point not to try to not to intentionally dominate the episode because I'm really interested in some of the questions you have. But before we get into your questions, I want to make one tweak to the show. The One of the comments that was made, and it was made by one of my wives. She said to me in her not so nice tone, and without saying her name, you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Don't you mention my name on that show. Don't say anything about me. I don't want to have anything to do with what you're doing, and I'm not a part of your cult, and I don't want you to mention my name." So I said, "Well, first of all, I didn't mention your name in a negative light. Why'd you mention me at all?" I said, "We should go back and watch the show. I'm not watching anything. Just don't mention me." So I said, "Well, I mentioned you to point out that I agreed with the statement that you made,
Mm-hmm.
and but she didn't care." And my response to her was, "Well, I got to be honest with you. That's not a request that I can honor. I don't see a scenario where I'm never going to mention you because I mentioned I was talking about Daddy Clarence and he's dead. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
talk about my mom. Every person in my life who has contributed to me becoming who I am in my life experience, they're going to be mentioned. And I don't know if I made this clear in our first episode, but I want to clarify something. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, the object of this program is threefold. I wanted to create something that was going to be entertaining, something that was going to be educational, and something that was going to be spiritually edifying. And the only way you can accomplish that is if you bring authenticity to the program. You have to be authentic, and people have to be free to talk about and say the things that they want to say. Now, we want to accomplish that and do that in a respectful, intelligent way,
Right.
but you can't tell your story without mentioning people. But then at the same time, I made that clear, but at the same time, I said to myself, you know what, though? I can see it from her perspective, too. You know what I mean? If you're not a part of what I'm doing and you don't want, because videos are out there forever, and you don't want something that I say or something that I infer to shed negatively on you, or if you perceive it to be negatively, I, I don't want you to have that experience from me either because you're not in a position, you don't have a platform to go out and make a clarification. Okay. So what I came up with is something I learned from one of my wives. We're going to use code names. Okay. And I've made a list of the names. I made a list. I made a list before we got here today, and I'm going to share the list with you. So before you start your questions, I want you to practice with the list. Now, when they hear their numbers called and their corresponding uh, nickname that I have for each one of them, they will know who I'm talking about. But the rest of the world won't know who they are. So let's start with number. They know each other well. Let's start with number one. Number one, wife number one is going to be number one. We're going to refer to her as number one. And that number one is Pooh. Everybody knows who Pooh is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if since it's not her real name, unless you really, really know her and us, you won't know what we're talking about. I don't care about the people who really know us because they know. But I don't want strangers running up to Pooh in the grocery store and saying, "Oh my God, you're a Pooh," or "You're number one." Okay, I don't want that. So number one is Pooh. Number two, we're gonna say is Muffin. Now, next to the names, you're gonna have the real names for reference, so you can practice using their code names. Okay. But don't use the real names when we're speaking. Okay. Number three is going to be. Number three knows who she is. She's gonna die when I say this. Number three is Ragdoll. Okay. Now you can call them by their number, or you can call them by the name that I've given them. But that's number three. She's done. She's pulling our hair right now. I'm gonna get cursed out, but I don't care. Number four is Sabretooth.
Is number 6 going to still be number 6, just with a different name?
Oh yeah. There's a name for number 6 too.
Right.
We're gonna get to number 6. You just wait a second.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just making sure you wasn't gonna switch.
No, you can't. That's the thing. Their numbers are their numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't change their numbers.
You're not making up numbers and giving them numbers.
Oh okay. No. These are the numbers that each. These aren't the numbers that denote how long I've known them, but these numbers correspond with when who became my wife first. So first there was number 1.
Baby, this sounds like astrology.
Yeah, Pooh was number 1. Muffin was number 2. Ragdoll was wife number 3. Sabretooth was wife number 4. And just so we're clear, guys, number 1 and number 2 are technically ex-wives, but they have to be on the list because both number 1 and number 2 made huge contributions to my development as a man. And you'll learn more about their contribution later. Number 5, wow. I've had a lot of wives. Yeah.
We should have done this off the camera.
Yeah. Number 5, no, because they need to participate. They need to see because they're going to know how I came up with this. Number 5 is the Kingmaker, and they all know who the Kingmaker is. Yeah. Okay, and then number 6 is, of course, Baby Bride. She's gonna die, but everybody knows who Baby Bride is. Yep.
Like the one that's on Chucky, that one.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Like Child's Play, Baby Bride, that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen Chucky, but Baby Bride. Number 4 gave number 6 that name. So. Okay.
I think I know who number 4 is.
Right. Well, you're gonna get the list.
I think I know who number 4 is.
And then number 7 is none other than Amazon. Everybody knows who Amazon is. Okay. So this is your list. So if you need to refer to them specifically, just make sure you follow.
Well, I won't be referring to them at all unless they're on the show.
But there may be instances where I have to mention them to explain a concept, and I want to get used to using their numbers. And this is why this is important. You can't produce you can't produce a program that's edifying without the truth.
Exactly.
The reason the Bible is the most popular book of all time, and the reason it's been sold more than any other book, is because the Bible has all those elements. The Bible is entertaining, the Bible is educational, and the Bible is spiritually edifying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you put all those components together, you have a really great product. So with that in mind, let's get to, because I have a lot to say, and I want to give you the floor. Let's get to your questions. What questions did you have for me?
Well, they was gonna come as we begin to talk. As you get into what you're getting into. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, I have a lot. Well, I hope you remember the questions you had because I have a lot to say. Okay, so let's get into our feedback from
the last episode. Okay,
let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Now, the first thing I want to do is a shout out to my sister-in-law, Michelle. She is the sister of number 2.
Okay.
Muffin. And she watched the show, to my surprise. And she said, you know what? When you were married to my sister years ago, I thought you were crazy. But now, after watching this, I understand so much more about why you did what you did, why you are the way you are. It makes sense now, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, I think it also makes sense for another reason. When I was with her sister, she didn't have any children. She wasn't a single mom. Mm-hmm. Now, she's a single mom. You know what I mean? She's been a single mom for quite some time. And she sees the world from a different perspective. So it means a lot to me, sis. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me that you see value in what I'm trying to accomplish and that you don't think I'm as crazy. I mean, I'm still crazy on many levels, but you understand where I'm coming from.
on one level.
on one level. So keep watching the show. If you like the last episode, you're really going to like the episodes they're going to follow. Now, the other person who commented, see, I have to glance at these numbers too. The other person who commented was number 4, wife number 4, Sabretooth. And she had some critiques for us. She said she liked the chemistry. We seemed very comfortable together, communicating. She thought you and Kingmaker respected each other. At the same time, though, her critique for Kingmaker was she didn't think she spoke more than she usually speaks when we're on camera, but she didn't think she was fully comfortable talking and not saying everything that she thought. And we're going to get into that. Her critique for you is you made some comments about, what number is she? You made some comments about number 6, Baby Bride, and not, you didn't mention any names. Mm-hmm. You weren't disrespectful, but you insinuated your not so much like for her. Now, she thought that was messy, okay? And while I could see that perspective, I don't know if I would. I think a certain amount of messiness is unavoidable if you're going to be transparent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're going to be honest about what you think and how you feel, and you're going to have commentary on some of the people in your life, whether those people are positive or negative from your perspective, there's going to be the perception of some pettiness and messiness. Now, what my goal is for you is for you to work on making sure you articulate how you feel in an appropriate manner. And one of the things I think that you have a problem with, and you correct me if you don't agree with this, I think sometimes you make comments about people or you'll joke with people and say things that you don't have a relationship with to say. I think some people might have a problem with you.
Can you give me an example?
Well, I've heard you make comments to number 6 about various things relating to her personal life and just things that come out of your mouth. And when they're coming out, I'm saying, oh my, why would she say that? And you joke as though this is somebody that you have a relationship with, that you're cool with, but you guys don't like each other. Now, my thought process has always been, if there's somebody that I don't get along with or I don't like or who doesn't like me, I don't joke with them. We just leave each other alone because we don't roll like that. But okay. What's your, you don't think that's messy? You think that's okay? Or because you do it, I've seen you do it a few times, And I wonder, okay, are you doing that to throw shots, or is it now? In your defense, you're a jokester,
right?
And you joke all the time. You know what I mean? But I don't know how productive it is to joke with people that don't like you and that you don't really like. So give me your thoughts on that, because I've wanted to ask you that question for a long time.
You know, to be honest, and I'm laughing because at the end of the day, I don't know how else to say this, but I never really cared if you liked me or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not finna stop smiling. I'm not finna stop being funny. I'm not finna stop being cute for nobody.
Right.
So if my presence bother you, where you got to come into a beautiful room, children here, or just a beautiful day, and you got to always have a mean mug and a black monkey on your shoulder, that's your problem. So why should I stop? And it's not like we have much to talk about. I'm just breaking the ice. And sometimes the ice needs to be broken. That's all it is. Now, if you look at it as you're being rude, you being mean, because when you walk in love, that's what you do. And I've done it so many times with, we're gonna have to find numbers for everybody else. We're gonna
number 6.
Not just for number 6, but we're going to have to come up with some numbers because I don't want to say her name. But,
look at your sheet. That's what you have a sheet for.
No, she's not on the dang on paper. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
She's not a...
Okay, so she don't matter.
Well,
Other people that may watch it. Like the people that we work with. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, if...
Family members.
Is this person one of my wives?
No.
Oh.
So it don't matter. Okay, so, like, Princess Mom. I'm just saying like that. Princess Mom. You know what I'm saying? She didn't like me. We got into it or whatever the case may be.
Did you joke with her, though?
I did. I ended up joking with her.
You would make jokes with her?
I used to make jokes with Lexi. Like, girl, I ain't did nothing to you. Like, calm down. And eventually, you know what I'm saying? That broke the ice where she was a year later, you know what I'm saying? When she looked back, like, Sunny every time I saw her, she always had a smile on her face. This is what she told me about me. And at that moment, in that time when you met me, my life wasn't all of that in a bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? But why would I come into an atmosphere when I first came into the atmosphere, I knew that when you was helping people, I wasn't the only person that you was helping. I wasn't the only person going through what I was going through. That's what made, you know what I'm saying, Poly Land feel like home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not the type of person to bully nobody. But you are a bully when you antagonize somebody, where you want to come in, got an attitude, talking to people crazy, your energy. I believe in bad spirits. So that's the thing. So that's what I'm saying. When I see a bad spirit, I'm going to pray, I'm going to crack a joke, I'm going to lose. That's how I stop myself from leashing my demons.
I got you. I got you.
You ain't seen no bloodshed.
I got you. So that's your way of trying to break the ice with somebody that you feel like is maintaining a negative perspective.
Yeah, because what have I done to number 6?
Yeah, no, I listen,
or anybody for real in the circle that be like, you know what, Sonny?
No,
you play too much. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I wanted to give you. I'm not saying you're right or wrong.
Yeah.
I want to give you a different perspective or how it's perceived. And I understand that. And you're not the first person. You know who else does that?
You.
No, not with people that don't. How do I
you do.
With people who don't like me?
Yeah, because a lot of people sometimes.
I think the problem is I think everybody likes me.
Exactly.
So I don't care. Yeah,
right,
I'm like
you see what I'm saying? You don't care. So when you don't care, are you finna stop being Napoleon Lawson?
No, you're right.
You see what I'm saying? So you gonna let Sonny mean attitude ruin your day, and now you walk around looking like Sonny.
I'm still bubbly.
No, you're still gonna be bubbly.
The thing is though, I don't crack. I'm bubbly, but I don't make jokes with them. I never do. I've never done. I don't joke with them about various things because we're not jokey. But I might be like, hey, what's going on? I love you. Give them a hug or something like that.
Right.
But okay, I understand.
It's all the same. You at the end of the day, you showing love. You're not giving the same energy that somebody's
you're not
giving
giving
off
the
to
energy
you,
back that you feel
knowing
like
that somebody don't. Too much care for you.
Okay.
I'm doing God's work.
Okay, well, I understand that because, Sabretooth, number 4, she's going to watch the video. And I'm glad you addressed that because when she's in studio, whenever she has time to come in, she will have an opportunity to give her thoughts on that. But that was really helpful.
And can I say something else?
You can say whatever you want to say.
Being on this platform is going to be a lot of things like that. Oh, that's being messy. You can't say what's really been messy if you're not around, seeing the energy, being the vibe. You're not the person. You're the person on the outside looking in through a tunnel all the way from the back, and you can barely see the light. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you know.
Well, you know. She was observing what she heard on the video,
but still, I didn't. Once again, I didn't say her name, and I said concerning the consort thing. I made it into a joke, which it was a joke. Like, girl, I am somebody. I'm a consort. That was funny because that was what the initial conversation was about. Me being a consort and how do I feel about being a consort coming into this platform.
No. You must be. That's the conversation you had with Kingmaker.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When her name got. When
the name was mentioned.
When the name was mentioned.
But it was, you weren't saying anything to be mean or directing.
If it was like, I don't like her, and that's why the other wife, I don't fool with her because she just too much. Now I could be like, yeah, that's being messy because who is the other wife?
I like this, and this is what I'm talking about. This is transparency, and this is the other reason this is important. I believe for people to grow and develop, and for me to help you be the best version of yourself, you have to have the freedom to say what you think, whether what you think is right or wrong, okay? Because only by you saying what you really think, and this is one of the reasons I love you, I may not always agree with what comes out of your mouth, but it's coming out. You know what I mean? And because it comes out, I have an opportunity to evaluate it and give you some feedback on the things you do and say. If you stop doing that, then I don't know you. You know what I mean?
Right, and we don't have a platform.
Well, forget the platform. We don't have a real relationship. You know what I mean? We don't have the intimacy that makes the relationship enjoyable.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we wouldn't be able to even do this because
we
don't know each other.
We wouldn't be able to do anything. We wouldn't be able to reside together. So all those things. So no, I appreciate that, and I'm sure we'll get some feedback from that. But I enjoyed that perspective. Now the other person to give feedback was what number is she? Number 3. I got used to these numbers too, because I never paid attention to what numbers I married them. I just did. Number 3, Ragdoll. She thought I was going to spend the whole show talking about myself, and she was like, "Oh boy, this is going to go left." But what is he going to say? What is he going to do? But she was pleasantly surprised and impressed with the first episode. She thought you guys were both comfortable. Everybody was articulate, and she thought I did a very good job of explaining what I do and why I do it. Okay, so and she said some other things, but if at any point she decides to make her presence felt, I'll let her share those things. I don't want to ruffle. I don't want to speak too much on her behalf because she tries to be silent on a lot of things because she knows she can't be present to support her statement. So she sits in the background. But those were the 3 major things. I wanted to open with those things and put that out there so people could get, so I could acknowledge the feedback that we received, and so they don't even have to watch the whole video to be able to respond to that first portion. Now, are you ready for the juicy stuff?
I'm ready.
Okay, here's the juicy stuff. Okay. You notice Kingmaker's not in studio today, right?
Yeah.
Did you wonder why I didn't mention her being in studio today? Did that cross your mind, or did you just think it was by design to have you and I do this episode by ourselves?
No, I just thought that, they was all taking turns, They was just all,
Yeah, now, the episode went extremely well, so I thought. And this is why I keep beating it in everyone's head about authenticity. I did a Covenant Partners episode that I haven't aired yet with number 4, and number 5, Sabretooth and Kingmaker. Okay, I did an episode with them, and during the episode, they were being polite, they were being supportive, but they didn't talk about any of the things that they disagreed with me on. Right? Mm-hmm. They waited until the camera was turned off, and then they wanted to give me a piece of their mind. I was so irritated. I said, "Don't do that." I turned the camera back on. I said, "I want our people, I want the audience, I want our followers to know that we don't always agree.
Right.
And I want them to see that exchange." They pushed back and said, "Well, they don't need to see the behind the scenes stuff. They need to see us united." I said, "No." Right. Because when they start building their own organizations, they need to see us disagree and how we worked our way to being united. You know what I mean? They don't need to see the finished product. They need to see how you finish the product. You know what I mean? So I love transparency on that level. So I'm thinking everything is great. And we get home, and she says, "By the way, you touched Sunny several times while we were recording." I said, "What are you talking about?" No, I didn't." She said, "You did." I said, "Well, okay, you know what? It's on video." I said, "So let's go back and watch the video so I can see what you're talking about." Okay. Now, I was sitting in the center where I sit when there's the three of us. And I talk with, when I'm talking, I'm moving my hands and I'm pointing to you and doing that and stuff. That was the touching she was talking about. I was so irritated. And not only was I irritated about the whole assertion, I was irritated because she came to me, in my opinion, like there was some sort of conspiracy going on. So, needless to say, we had words. That turned into a huge argument. We had words. Those words became harsh. And we didn't really talk about the fight until later this week. It ended with, "I'm not going to be on the show anymore," me saying some stuff I usually wouldn't say. And it was a blowout. So we hadn't talked. I mean, we've talked this week, but we were in business mode, okay?
Right.
So after cooling off for a week, I thought about the pros and cons of having her with me, okay? From a selfish standpoint, I don't want to do anything of this scale without her, because she is essential and pivotal to everything I do. I've only been a success because I've had her by my side, okay? At the same time, my concern, before we talked about it today, was that if she's not going to be authentic and committed, then it reduces the quality of the show. And it's important to me that she not agree with me or support everything I say. The other day you asked me, do I ever worry about what my wives will say about me? Remember you asked me that?
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Because they don't agree with you all the time, and just sometimes just off of certain energies that they give, it seems like, I don't know, I think jealousy is a dangerous trait, you know what I'm saying? And things, if people feel like, I don't know how to put it, like territorial, you know what I'm saying? They can probably mess up something that could be a blessing to them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It could be, right.
So that's what I was thinking, like, you know what I'm saying? I be praying and asking God, what should I do and how should I do and this, that. And I also pray for the people that is around me, you know what I'm saying? And certain things pop up in my spirit, and and I ask, like, I don't want what we're trying to do to be tampered with because of selfish motives. And that's why I wanted to talk about the kingdom principles on the last time we was, with her. I thought we was going to get on that because you can have kingdom principles all day long.
All day long.
But if you don't have alignment.
How can two walk together unless they be agreed? Yeah.
She has the principles.
Yeah, but you
don't have alignment.
Yeah, you don't have alignment.
So that's, what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you as I'm just saying people in general.
I get it. I agree 100%. And that was my concern. If we're not in actually, that was really where I was coming from initially. If we're not in agreement, how can we move forward together? But that's why I talked about in the opening segment the purpose of the show. The purpose of the show is to be entertaining, educational, and spiritually edifying. And I don't necessarily need to be in agreement with you to accomplish that. Actually, if you're not in agreement with me and you're respectful and transparent and honest, we can accomplish great things. Because disagreement, if handled the right way, is an excellent platform to both entertain and educate and edify. It allows you to do all those things. It's not when you're shaking your head saying amen, yes and amen, and I agree and I agree and I agree. People don't learn from that. People learn from when I say something, you challenge my position, and then we have to have a respectful back and forth.
Right.
We had that today. And one of the reasons I adore her so much is because she's, for the most part, extremely composed. She's very articulate. She thinks before she speaks. She's a really good communicator when she wants to be. So I when we spoke today, we talked about this very subject for well over an hour. And I told her, I said, babe, look, I can do this. I can try to do this without you. But with you, we're going to succeed immediately. With you, we are going to be super successful. We are going to be wealthy. We will have the #1 show on YouTube. That's just how that's going to go. I said, but I don't need you to get up there and agree with everything I say. I need you to say all the stuff you're saying to me on this phone call in private. I need you to express those things in front of a camera. Because once we're in front of the camera, then I have an opportunity intelligently to respond, apply kingdom principles, and that's where the education comes in at. Now, even after I apply those principles, she still doesn't have to agree. But it gives her the opportunity to formulate an intelligent response. You follow me? So what I wanted to prepare you for is her return to the show in our very next episode that we're going to record tomorrow. She is back. But I'm
flabbergasted.
Yeah. We're gonna get the kingmaker that I wanted in the first place. She's gonna tell us all the things that she does not agree with. She's gonna share her issues with me. She'll share her issues with you, and they won't all be issues with us, or my whole vision for where I want to take our family. But she has some opposing ideas, and she has concerns. You know what I mean? A great many concerns. I want those concerns aired out, and this is why this is important. Until we address those issues, we can't move to, like you say, the principles and other things we want to do. We have to get aligned. You know what I mean? And you won't get that if she's not really saying what she thinks. That sets the stage for us to do what we want to do.
And that's great. And I'm with you when you're right, but ain't no point of coming here saying it all. And, because she wasn't quiet when she was here. You know what I'm saying? So we got the gif, some things that I took note of. She don't like the fact that I'm living with you because she said that you're living with my husband. She don't get the opportunity to be with you because you're always saving somebody. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and she's kind of like skeptical. How much more this time? Now your focus is this. Now what? You know what I'm saying?
But see that, but this is why that conversation needs to be had. When she was here before, she would make a comment, right? Comments are not a dialogue. Right. So I'll give an example. We were speaking today, and she made the statement that I spend time with everybody else, all these people. Now, you know, as a fact, who do I spend time with? Do I ever spend any time with you?
No.
Never. Do I ever spend any time with Baby T?
No.
I don't spend. You know what? Where am I at every free second that I get?
With Maria.
No. Yeah. Besides her, where am I? What do I do all my free time?
Working.
Working where?
In your office.
Or where else?
In the studio.
That's all my time. And recently, since I started at WeatherTech, I'm there. But other than that, I don't spend time with people. Her perception is, though, that I'm giving myself to all these other people. I've been giving myself to me. And part of what you're going to do, part of what this platform does, it allows me to help the people that I want to help and still maximize my time. You know what I mean? I won't sit one-on-one and talk to people anymore. I'll talk to people from my platform. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then from the platform, you and I, me, you, and the Kingmaker, will create a system that allows us to help many more people. You follow me? But what I've been doing all these past several months is I've been working on putting the system together. So for us to be effective, there has to be greater discourse. You can't just make comments. You have to back those comments up with ideas. And then there has to be a dialogue about them. And then you apply kingdom principles on top of it. So what has happened up to this point, she has had ideas that weren't shared to the degree that they were shared today. But principles are never applied to the ideas. They're just ideas. That's where you miss the spiritual. That's where you miss the education process, and that's where you miss
alignment before the principle. You're not aligned. So
yeah, but you can't get aligned without education.
Right.
And I can't educate you if I don't know what you're thinking.
And exactly. And one thing I do want to say is, once again, how can 2 or 3 walk together unless they be in agreement? We need to be in agreement, because at the end of the day, I don't want nobody insinuating anything about my character as well.
I know, but you can't. Yeah. No, but listen. The people are going to insinuate things about our character. But that's why we have to have a dialogue and have respectful dialogues. That's what makes the platform worthwhile. You can disagree with people and you can have a thought about me, but we don't have to be disagreeable. And anything can be communicated if articulated respectfully in the right way. They're ideas. You know what I mean? Ideas don't hurt people. What you do with an idea, if the idea is wrong or if it's right, we respond to the idea with another idea. And then you come back with your idea. Now, what makes ideas really powerful is when you have an idea and that idea is backed up with a fact. So when I question people about their ideas, then they have to provide a supporting idea to back that up. They just can't run around giving emotional responses. That is what you want to accomplish. And this is what go ahead.
Well, that was always the plan. When we
but the plan has to get executed.
But the thing is, that's why people have to go with the flow. That's with me or anybody else, because when we left here, we said, hey, you write down your questions, you write down what's on your mind, and we can, you know what I'm saying? So we won't just be rambling. And, like I told you, as you flow, my questions are going to come to me and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Because the point is, like, she could have aired all instead of and I'm so sorry you guys had a heated argument. But I'm just saying, like, it didn't have to blow up and the enemy getting in people's heads and you making insinuating when this is.
Yeah, but don't.
This is the platform to what, like you said, to
do
air
all that.
It out.
Yeah, I know,
so
but listen.
You explained that.
Yeah, but listen. Even when you explain it, see, this is where people struggle at. And I complimented you on this earlier. Everybody cannot do that. That's why everybody can't have a podcast. To do long form content where you are required to say what you're really thinking. First of all, it means when you say your thoughts out loud, lying to yourself is easy. You know why? When you're lying, when you're making up stuff in your head and there's nobody to challenge what you've made up, you can believe anything. You know what I mean? And then you can take your emotions, attach them to the thoughts in your head, and you can run away with that, right? Mm-hmm. But when you have a conversation, this is what the challenge is. People like to talk in private and argue and go back and forth because there's no recording device. There's no camera. You follow me? Mm-hmm. So you don't have to be held accountable for lying, for making up things, for saying things that are irrational. You don't have to worry about doing any of that. When you turn on a camera and a microphone, now when I get ready to say something to you, Sunny, I got to think about it. It has to make sense because when you come back at me and you say a year later, this is what you said, it's there what I said. You know what I mean? The tone I said it in, the context I said it in, it's there. Now I really have to do some soul searching about what I think, and I have to explain myself. Now, if my thoughts and feelings are rooted in a place that come from somewhere unhealthy, that's going to be, if it comes from my insecurities or jealousy or whatever it comes from, that's going to be evident in the dialogue because the other person's going to have a chance to challenge me. I'm going to be able to say what I think, and then you're going to be able to respond and question me. You know what I mean? People have a very difficult time doing that. That's why arguments occur. You ever wonder why, when you're talking to somebody, it blows up to an argument? Because they don't want you to respond to what they're saying. They want to say what they want to say. You don't, and you don't have an opportunity to respond. It's not a dialogue. They just want to talk over each other. You can't do that here. So this, what we're attempting to do requires a great deal of mental, spiritual, and emotional growth. Because this ain't the place to blow up and flip out. You can't do all that. You got to mature. You got to have a dialogue. You got to think about what you think. You got to say it. Then you got to back it up. You got to explain it. Then I have to let you come back and respond to whatever I say about you. Most people don't want that smoke. That's truth.
Well, that's why I love me, because at the end of the day,
that's why I love you too.
I got to be real, and I got to be transparent, real. And I got to be me. And even I thank God for the word sorry, and I apologize, because you can always go back and be like, hey, I made a mistake, and I didn't mean to say it like that, because now I understand where you was coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, and I'm happy for the platform, and I hope that everybody come in, speak their truth respectfully. And
well, that's why, and this is why I need the Kingmaker. I need her because out of all the people that I deal with, she is the most capable and the most equipped to be in disagreement with me, gather herself, and respond eloquently. She can do it. She don't have anything to lose. We're never gonna not be together. Nothing's going to happen to her. So she can do it. Now, Sabretooth is going to be important too. And I'm going to tell you why. I have to give the Kingmaker a little a lot of grace, and this is why. We are still in our romantic relationship. You know what I mean? So I have modes with all my relationships. I can be married to you for years, and we can suspend the romantic relationship. And after the romantic relationship has been suspended for a period of time, it's easy to calmly talk to me about things that we don't agree on, okay? Because you're not as emotionally attached.
Right.
But if you're emotionally attached to me, there's a heightened degree of sensitivity. So it takes more discipline and more control to have those conversations. When Sabretooth comes and she begins to share what she thinks, I'm really looking forward to that opportunity because our romantic relationship has been on ice for 4 years. It's been a long time. I can't remember. We haven't been in a romantic relationship in a long time. So she is a very significant figure in my life because she has been in my life since we were 16 years old. If I've been with Maria for 30, if we go back 16 to I'm 16, that's like 40 years or something like that. It's a long time. Okay. She has seen everything. She's seen every marriage. She's seen every relationship. She's like the ancient one. You know what I mean? So she knows everything. So I really, even though we don't agree about a lot of stuff, I enjoy hearing her perspective on a great many things pertaining to my life because she's been there for the whole show. So between the two of them, both of their input is very important. So when she returns, it's going to be good. I expect a really powerful and meaningful dialogue. Now, what I am going to do, though, after having this conversation, I want to add a component to the show. I want to do this more often, where I have the three of us on together, and then I do a follow-up. You know how you watch the reality shows and the characters will interact with each other, and then you'll have a clip with them saying how they felt about a certain situation.
Like a confession.
Yeah, with the producers. I want to do that. I want to be able to give you an opportunity in an environment where it's just you and I to say what you think about whatever it is. You know what I mean? And then they can go back. Everybody can go back and look at what you said to just me, because this is our most comfortable. If we're not going to be transparent as just me and you, we're not going to be transparent. You know what I mean? So, because this is a loving, safe environment. I want them to be able to see what your thought process is. And then the three of us will get together. And then me and the Kingmaker, or me and Sabretooth will sit down and have a one-on-one conversation about their perspective. Because then then you can sit home and see this is what you think about what I said. Then you get to come back and respond, right? Now, what's going to eventually happen over a period of time, either we're going to get to a place of alignment. Some of us are going to get to a place of alignment, or some of us are going to grow apart. But you need that to set the stage for the type of family we're trying to build. You need that dialogue. Now, one of the things I want to let all of you guys know, because there's some confusion about where my loyalties lie. Because one of the conversations, there's some confusion about where my loyalties lie. So I want to make this clear.
Please explain it.
Yeah, let me explain it. Before I was anybody's husband, I was Jehovah's son.
That's deep.
Okay.
That's T.
Yeah.
Clock it.
Yeah, I was Jehovah's son. Okay. So my allegiance is to my father. His agenda, his feelings, what he wants is always going to supersede what any of you want or how any of you feel. Now, this is not, and this is everybody in my life. I adore each and every one of you. I adore my wives. I adore my children. I adore all my adopted family members. Well, I don't, Anthony, I can't adore you all the time because you're one of the meanest. You're just a mean man. No, you know I love you, Anthony. I had to get that in there. You're such a mean man. Yeah, but I adore all of you, and you have been all blessings to me, but you're not the blessor.
Mm-hmm.
One of the problems that many people have, and I'm talking to many of my family members, people get attached to the blessing. They think the people that they care about, the people who have been good to them, the people that they love, they think these people are, they confuse them with the source. The Father is the blessor. And if you are on good terms with the blesser, there'll always be more blessings. You know what I mean? So one of the things that came up in our conversation today, me and the Kingmaker, and I know all my wives have felt this way at some point. They think I take them for granted. No, I don't take them for granted. I adore them. But how they feel and what's important to them is never going to be more important than my father's agenda. You know what I mean? What I think he has for me. And I don't think where I am, what I'm doing in my life now, is the plan that he has for my life. You know what I mean? And then on a more personal note with all of you guys, and I'm saying this more so, my success affects all of you. Our success affects everyone. But I had a long conversation with the Kingmaker today about the type of man I need to continue to be for her. She made a comment. She said, you know, Napoleon, all the people who follow you, you must have said something to them, or maybe you must have had conversation, because she couldn't understand how all these relationships keep coming, and I'm not spending time nurturing the relationships and doing things to make you guys attach yourselves to me. Now, I want your perspective on that. Do I spend a lot of time talking to you and trying to give you reasons to attach yourself to me? Be honest.
I'm gonna say yeah.
I do?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Just you being the man of God that you say that you are.
Oh, okay, but I don't spend a lot of time out of my mouth trying to.
No.
Okay, that's what she was. Okay, so what you just said is what I said. I said no, babe. I don't spend time talking. I said people see.
Well, to be honest, you got to spend time talking, and you ain't just got all these people around you because you not talking to them. At the end, what I'm gonna say is, and what's real is what's real. If you're doing kingdom work, helping people, and I can only speak for myself, and everybody else that's have a time to talk, they're gonna speak for themselves. But helping people, pouring into people, you know what I'm saying, and giving. Personally, my father passed away when I was 5 years old. You know what I'm saying, 4 months apart from my mama. So let's just say I'm here because I got daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful that you're not a type of a man that is taking advantage of people. You're actually trying to help and push them, you know what I'm saying, to be better. You know what I'm saying? So if you're doing God's work, I don't think anybody, and when you said they either going to fall or follow, that's exactly what is going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
And that's why I don't have to sit up here. When you're doing God's work, you ain't got to worry about if you going to get in.
No, you don't.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I tell you, don't worry about people saying anything about your character or what people think about you, any of those things, because at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. Before you were anything to anybody else, like me, you're God's daughter. You know what I mean? That's your primary relationship. That your primary objective should be trying to see what he wants you to do with your life, how you can serve him, and to make sure that you're using your time and treasure to satisfy him. Now, in doing so, and this is what I always try to drive home to the Kingmaker, in doing so, you're going to be a blessing for everyone else. And we got off of the phone laughing because I was trying to explain to her, and I'm going to close with this. I was explaining to her, babe, look, I love you, but I need to be a certain type of man for you. I said, when you followed me out to Bolingbrook I've told you the story before. I was living in my car. I was poor.
Right.
And when she came out here, I was working multiple jobs, working late nights at McDonald's. And I did all of that because I had a vision of where our life would go, okay? And she, on some level, she feels like I'm not romantic, right? But I don't express I've never been the conventional romantic type where I express my love and me being into you by bringing you flowers and candy. I don't do that. I express my love for people by delivering the goods. I'm a producer. You see what I'm saying? I show my love by telling you, this is where we're going to go. This is if you go with me, this is where I'm taking you. And then I do everything I can to produce that. So I was joking with her today. I said, babe, my gas is off. I said, I tried to take a bath today in cold water. I don't do cold baths. Now, I could have went over to my house at Lindsay, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this cold bath thing. It was horrible. I can't do that. I said, babe, I'm actually mowing my own lawn. I have multiple houses. I've never mowed my own lawn. I said, babe, I'm working part-time at WeatherTech. I said, my life is, from my perspective, now I'm still more blessed than a whole bunch of people. I have rich people problems. I said, but my life, to a large degree, is not at a point where I could be sitting looking at you trying to be in love. I need to produce. I need to take us to the next level. And I told her, I said, and I love this about it, and I appreciate this. I love the fact that she loved me when I was homeless and in that Scion. I love that about her. She loves me just like I am, and she loves me where I am, and she would be fine if we didn't go any further in life. But I told her when we got Lindsay, this is our home if we fail. If everything goes to hell and I'm wrong and we're losers, we lose at Lindsay. That's my losing. We lose at Lindsay with 5 or 6 or 7 houses, how many houses we got, and then it's done. But I'm still playing, and I'm not losing. God has a bigger vision for me. And when I started our life together out here, I was homeless. I had multiple jobs just to make 6 figures. I didn't have all the experience that I have now. I didn't have the massive support system that I have now. And the only person who believed in me was the Kingmaker. And I was successful. And I wasn't even clear on my vision and purpose. Now, I'm crystal clear on my vision and purpose. I'm far away from homeless. I have multiple cars. I have a massive support system, and I know what I'm doing. And I have a Sunny, and I have the Kingmaker on my right and on my left. There's nowhere in the world I can concentrate on anything else except where I'm going, because now I know I'm on the precipice of greatness. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, I'm on the precipice. So, I'm looking forward to, I made this episode today. It's just you and I. She's gonna have an opportunity to view it and see it, and if things go well, she'll be back in studio with us, and she'll be giving us her thoughts on a lot of things. She would have actually showed up today, but I said, you know what? I don't want you to record today. I said, stay home. I said, I want to do it with Sunny. And I said, I'm going to get you the video so you can assess it and then think about how you want to respond. So she'll have time to do that. But that's where we are. That was the big news. That was the big drama. I couldn't wait to get you in here and tell you that. Now, let me ask you a question. Like you said, you didn't sense there was any issues. Because when we left, everything was peachy.
Well, I did. When I look back at the video,
they look uncomfortable or
yeah, she looks very like she looks. If this is just me, if her eyes was a shotgun, I would have been shot up in this chair. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously.
Right,
you know
right.
What I'm saying?
Okay, good.
And
good.
And I love Miss Maria. So it's like
you have to practice using Kingmaker.
Oh,
I know it's hard. Don't worry
so
about it.
sad.
Everybody knows who Kingmaker is.
Yeah, thank you. Because you didn't say it 10 times.
Yeah. I'm practicing.
The Kingmaker, and she know how I feel about her. So I would like to, unless when we're working together and being a team, I want it to be a strong team.
A strong team. And this is how we get to it being a strong team. And I just so you know, she doesn't have anything against you personally. It's not you. It's my whole idea, the paradigm. Because one of the things we talked about today is, we were separated for 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when she came back, she was different in a good way, but I was different in a good way too. So I'm not, the person that she left is not the man that she came back to. The man that she left, he always loved God. He was essential to his life, but I was not wholeheartedly focused on my purpose the way I am now. I didn't have what you call clarity of purpose. I didn't know exactly how God wanted to use me, and I wasn't fully committed the way I'm fully committed now.
And when did you get this awakening? Like 2 years ago?
Honestly, when I reached the height of my success in my current business, I knew that the only thing I could do more is to make more money doing this or something else. And no matter what business I got involved in, it wasn't ever going to be fulfilling. I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that was going to fulfill me is for me to get back to what I tried to run from, which is my gift when it comes to relationships. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to helping single Christian women, I'm good at that. I'm good at God. I'm good at Christ, and I'm good at women in relationships. I got sick of relationships though. Before I went into business, I was done with people like you, and I was done with people like you. Yeah, you. I was done with helping women. I had stopped, and the reason I had stopped is because I concluded, yeah, I was done because what I concluded was, you guys will never listen. You don't listen. I'm wasting my time, and you'll make.
That's T.
Yeah, you'll make the same mistakes over and over and over again. So what I decided was, and anybody who knows me, I've said this to them, the only way I would help anyone in the past, before I came to this epiphany, is if they were a wife. Because I knew with a wife, I was not going to lose my investment. So I look at marriage very much like it's a business. You know what I mean? I have my job to do. The wife has her job to do. And we're working together as a team to build a life together. You know what I mean? That was the plan. And while we're building a life together, we want to impact people positively, but influencing them and advancing God's kingdom, that wasn't my primary focus. My primary focus was my family's wealth and my family's legacy. And the way I wanted to help people was to teach people how to build a faith-based business so you could take care of your family. But I was never going to touch on relationships ever, ever, ever again. I had made the decision that my focus was going to be helping people build faith-based family businesses. And as I got into that, I made the Holy Spirit set me down, and he said, Napoleon, what you're trying to do is never going to work. I was like, wow, I know all about faith-based businesses and family and all that stuff. He said, no, it's not going to work because you can't teach people how to build a faith-based family business if their families are falling apart. You're going to have to address the family issue. And I was like, darn. So once I knew I had to address the family issue, then I had to go back into relationship realm. I had to talk to people about relationships. But then I ran into another problem. I had to pick a group of people that I would talk to. Didn't want to talk to married people about relationships. They're horrible. They don't listen. So at my age, what group of people did I have a heart for and that would respond faster than the other group? Christian single mothers. They needed help. They need help. They need community. They need a support system. And if you give them a solution, they would listen. And the beautiful thing about a single mother is I don't have to contend with anybody else trying to contradict what I'm trying to teach them. So when I put all that together, it was clear I had to go right back to where I started from many, many years ago. And that's why in the first episode, I talked about how my relationship started with Maria. And I slipped myself. I was supposed to say Kingmaker. Yeah. I thought about how my relationship started with the Kingmaker. And that's what I was doing. I just wasn't formally doing it.
Right.
But all my life, this is what I've been doing it. Now I know how to do it at a much larger scale. And I know how to do it without having to marry anybody. That's the best part. Yeah. Not having to marry is wonderful.
Hey, I did have a question.
Yeah.
From one audience member, and they wanted to know, do Sunny has a sugar daddy that don't want no sugar?
No, you have a no. That's a good question. I don't want any sugar, but I want something more valuable than sugar. Sugar really isn't valuable. Women think it's valuable, but first of all, there's a sugar surplus. There is so much sugar out there floating around to be had, and you can have the sugar for little of nothing, okay? So you don't even have to work to get sugar anymore. It's just sugar all over the place, okay? So no,
okay, Willy Wonka.
Yeah. So so you don't need that. What is not all over the place though is someone that is going to be committed and motivated to focus on what I want to focus on. That is what I lack. All of my wives, and while they are wonderful, when I picked each one of them, I wasn't in purpose mode. The Kingmaker said something today, and I couldn't even. She was dead right. She said, "You have a lot of nerve." She said, "You married all of your wives, and while you talked to us about God and all that stuff, you weren't like you are now. Now you're kingdom, and we're just supposed to jump on board with the new you, right?" Now,
that's deep.
Yeah, she's right. Now, in their defense, each wife that I married for specific purposes. You know what I mean? And the only wife that signed a contract to be married to Reverend Lawson was number 3, Ragdoll. Ragdoll knew, if you get with this dude, because she is very she's like me. She's like a male version of me. She's just
female version.
Yeah, she's like a female version of me, just a lot more attractive. And
I met Ragdoll, right?
Oh, you met her. Okay, yeah. So she's a female version of me, a lot more attractive. Very spiritual.
You gotta change your name now. now that I know, like, you gotta change your name.
No. Listen, ragdoll is a compliment. We're gonna get into that. Yeah.
But when you call me a ragdoll,
oh, she knows it's a compliment. She knows it's a compliment. But she is equipped to serve me in the capacity that you're going to serve me. And one of our struggles back and forth was that she wanted a career. This is where we bumped heads. I wanted her to sit home and just revolve around me while I pursued what I wanted to pursue.
I don't blame you. She's fine.
Yeah. She was like, I'm not having that. I'm intelligent. I have a degree. There's so many things I can do. And I love you. You mean the world to me. But I can't. What you're asking me to do, I've spent my entire life trying to not do. You want me to give up everything and just follow you around, revolving. That's what I wanted to do. She's like,
like, no, you was a son.
Yeah, I can't do that. You have to find something. And the thing is, I always knew she was driven, ambitious. That's her thing. She's competitive, ambitious. And she's always trying to climb and climb and climb. So that's why we fell out. Because what I wanted her to do, she would not do. And I'm driven to focus on an agenda. And she's agenda driven. Okay? That was a problem. Then you have Sabretooth. She's an entrepreneur. A hard worker. She's going to get the bag. I picked her because of that. She didn't sign up to be Reverend Lawson's wife. She signed up to be the business mogul's wife. This is what we do, okay? Same thing with Amazon. So each person signed up for a specific version of me. You know what I mean? All of them have similarities, but each person is a different reflection of a different part of my personality. So this is where you come in at. I don't need sugar from you. You, like Ragdoll, relate to the godly aspect of my personality. I'm not into you. This relationship doesn't work because you're a great business person. You're an entrepreneur. I don't look at you like that.
Because I'm not. I'm just kidding.
You're not.
Just kidding.
But you're not. Well, no, you will become a great entrepreneur in the kingdom.
We speaking into existence as though they were.
But you're not Amazon and Sabretooth. And to their credit, Kingmaker and Ragdoll, they're not the moguls that Amazon and Sabretooth are. So they're each person excels in their own right. The Kingmaker, she is super talented and skillful. She can do some of everything. Intelligent. She's what's the word I'm looking for? Competitive. It's so much stuff she can do. But what she does that's most important is she supports the man, Napoleon. Somebody has to love Napoleon, the man. So there's Napoleon, the priest, and there's Napoleon, the man. Right. She loves Napoleon, the man.
The priest part she don't like. As I said, the priest part she didn't. Yeah. Because you, right. Okay, Jesus Jr.
Yeah, Ragdoll, she likes Napoleon, the priest first, and then she likes the man. Kingmaker likes the man, and she'll deal with the priest, but she really likes the man. Amazon and Sabretooth, they respect the priest and the man, but they want the money. They want a mogul. They want the businessman. They don't even care about the regular man or the priest. You know, Pooh, it's funny you asked that. Pooh has over the years developed an appreciation for all facets of me, but she appreciates me differently. Since she's number one, she got to watch me develop. You know what I mean? So she watched me develop from a lying, cheating. You know, back when I was with Pooh, I used to cheat when I was little. Okay, girlfriend. I was always a ladies' man, but she dealt with that immature Napoleon, and then watched him evolve into what he is now. So she likes all the versions of me. It's kind of like a balance. She likes all the versions, but I think if I'm being honest, yeah, I think if I'm being honest, there might be a little resentment with number one, and this is my fault. I think there might be a little resentment for number one from number one. I mean, she loves me, but our life and relationship would have been very different had she got the mature version of me. And this is why it's so important, young men. I can't wait till I start talking to young men. This is why it's so important to not enter relationships, premarital relationships, before you're spiritually mature enough to handle them. I mishandled that relationship, and because I was not spiritually mature, and now to toot my own horn,
I knew that was coming.
yeah, to toot my own horn, I was still cold. Okay, back then I was still the best. I was still the best man that she had been with, in my opinion, and I was going to remain the best man. But had I known everything I know now, we never would have ever broken up, because how I handled things when they didn't go right, how I dealt with shortcomings would have been different. You know what I mean? I didn't really understand what it meant when I was with Pooh. I didn't really fully understand how to love a wife like Christ loves the church. I didn't know how to administer and distribute that love. I didn't know how to deal with the various challenges that would come up in a marital relationship. And I didn't know how to, when we separated, I didn't know how to set the stage for reconciliation. Because when I was with Pooh, I was a strict monogamous. So when we went our separate ways, I remember when we split up, sitting in my mom's. I was at home. I was young, and I lived with my mom. I think my early 20s, and I remember looking out the window, crying. I mean, profusely tears, because I knew we had gotten to a point where I thought our relationship had come to the end of the road, and that meant ending my relationship with her, and not being able to raise my first child. So that was difficult for me. But if I was the Napoleon I am now, when we got into it and it was time to split, I would have had the attitude I have now. Oh, don't worry about it. We'll be back together. We'll be back together. At some point, I'm going to reconcile and restore this relationship. We don't agree now. Now, I'm still going to go over here and do what I'm going to do. We're still going to divorce, because it may be years before we agree.
Right.
And I don't know when you're going to return. But this is what I would have done. I would have told Muffin. Now, I probably would have lost Muffin, but it wouldn't have mattered, because I would have stood by my principles. I would have told Muffin, look, Muffin, me and Pooh got into it, but I've invested 7-8 years of my life into this relationship. She is my family. And when she comes to her senses, I have to finish what I started. Now I love you, and we're gonna move forward with our life. Who knows what's gonna happen to Pooh? But I'm not gonna really, in truth, ever divorce Pooh.
So let me ask a question, because you know I'm kind of like the lady at the well a little bit. Is that what men do? Like they, when they lose somebody, young, older, dumb, or slow, they still gonna flip and spin until that one person come back?
Wait, explain.
Like you said Muffin. You
oh no, I married.
Muffin.
No. I wasn't flipping and spinning. Now I was still godly.
Okay.
I divorced number one, and married number two. I don't do that. But the problem was, I did not have the mindset that I have about marriage then. So I closed the door. There was no
returning
avenue.
back.
Yeah, there was no returning back and no avenue for reconciliation. So under the old Napoleon, under Napoleon that Pooh was married to, it didn't matter what happened. She couldn't knock on my door and say, I was wrong, all hell has broken loose, I want to restore our relationship. She didn't have the insurance policy that everybody else has. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody else, this is why I said there's some I would resent me. Everybody else, even if she never used the insurance policy, she was entitled to the policy.
Right.
You know what I mean? She should have been able to say, you know what? I've been out here for 3-4 years doing what I want to do. I don't like it out here. I'm coming home. And I should have opened the door and said, Sheila, or darn it, number two, number one is back. That's what I should have done. But that avenue wasn't open. That was the appropriate thing. Now, if I had lost number two because of that, that would have been okay because God would have sorted things out.
Right.
But that's how the covenant should have been structured. So my great failing was the marital covenant that number one was given was flawed. It wasn't like the new covenants. Everybody else covenant is tight. They forever. And this is why, in answer to your person's question, this is why I would not marry lightly. To me, marriage is sacred, and those marital covenants, for me, is irrevocable. So if I give somebody a marital covenant, I'm stuck. I'm stuck because the covenants, the contracts have to match. Everybody has to have the same deal. So so the other day when Amazon came over to the house harassing me, and she's literally an Amazon. She grabbed me by the neck. I mean, she's strong as I don't know what. She grabbed me by my neck, drugged me out of the kitchen, and pulled me into the office to make me help her do something. You know what I'm saying? She comes and she beats on the door. She beats on the door like a lunatic. She does all kind of things to annoy me. But she has a covenant. You know what I mean? So there's no way out of the relationship for me. It's irrevocable. You know what I mean? Number one should have had the same deal. So the reason consorts don't have to worry about, the reason they don't have to be under threat of ever becoming wives is because to tie my hands like that over and over and over again, to lock myself up where I have to answer the phone, where I have to do this, I have to do that. No, that's not something I'm looking to do. But what I get from you in terms of our ministry together, the support, and everything we're going to build, oh my God, I can't beat it. So until you realize what a great deal I have and somebody steals you away from me, that's the only thing that can happen in our relationship. But what's going to happen in our relationship, you're going to grow and somebody's going to steal you away. That's where our relationship is going to go. It's not going to go to sugar. It's going to go to somebody robbing the candy store. They're going to steal you and take you away, and then I'll be out a chief consort. That's my concern.
Well, you have most definitely answered my question. So as of right now, I have a sugar daddy with no sugar, y'all.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about sugar. I'm not interested in sugar. I have so much. I have more sugar than I can actually eat.
Okay.
I have plenty of sugar.
You ain't got cavities.
That's right. Plus, I don't have cavities. So, okay, guys, that's it for today. I know that ran over, but you know what? I thought my episodes are long, but they're not really long at all. This guy I love, David Shan, sometimes his podcast goes an hour and a half, 2 hours. But when you're really having authentic conversation, the time doesn't matter because you're engaged and you're really going at it with someone. So I can have my podcast as long as I want, and it doesn't matter. So, you have anything else before we get out of here?
No.
No more questions?
Peace, love, and hair grease.
Okay, love you guys. We'll see you in our next episode when the Kingmaker returns. Love you all. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.